Playlist in comments section below.
And by Enlil's command, Adamu and Tiamat were taken from the Eden, their dwelling place among the Annunaki, stripped from them. Enki, though grieved, prepared for them a shelter in the lands of the Abzu, where the trees grew tall and the rivers flowed clear, so that they might have a place to dwell and be nourished. And in the appointed time, Tiamat bore twins, a male and a female, the first children of the earth to be born of their own kind, untouched by the wombs of the Annunaki. Enki rejoiced, saying, "Behold, the true children of the earth have come forth. They are the first of many, the beginning of a great multitude who shall walk upon this land." And it came to pass that Adamu and Tiamat dwelt in the Abzu, and the earthlings were fruitful and multiplied, filling the land with their kind. Many were their offspring, and as their children grew, they too took mates among themselves, and their seed was spread across the land. The Anunnaki beheld this with great wonder, for the earthlings were swift in their numbers, and they did not cease in their procreation. They labored alongside the Annunaki in the mines of the Abzu, bearing the burdens of toil, yet never did they groan nor complain as the mighty ones had before them. They did not tire under the heat of the sun, nor did the air of the mines weigh heavy upon them, for they were of the earth and made for its trials. And great was their understanding, for they took to the work with eagerness, learning swiftly the ways of mining, of carrying the gold, and of obeying the commands of their masters. The Anunnaki workers, seeing that their suffering was lifted, rejoiced, saying, "The work is no longer ours alone. The burden has been placed upon these beings, and the toil has been lifted from our hands." And so it was that with the aid of the earthlings, gold was gathered in abundance, and the vessels of the Anunnaki were filled, and the precious ore was ferried to the heavens. Upon Nibiru, the mighty ones received the gold and rejoiced, saying, "Salvation has come. The atmosphere shall be restored, and our world shall endure." In time, the earthlings, no longer bound to the Abzu, spread across the lands, for they were restless in their ways, seeking new places to dwell. They journeyed unto the lands of the north, into the hills and valleys of Asia and Europe, their numbers increasing beyond measure. Enki beheld them and spoke, saying, "These are the first wanderers, the first ones to spread across the face of the earth. Behold, they shall know the lands beyond, and their seed shall not be counted." And it was said that these were the Neanderthals, the first of the tribes who would walk far and wide, shaping the earth with their presence. And it came to pass that not only did the earthlings multiply and spread across the lands, but among the mighty ones too did the generations increase. For the sons of Enlil and the sons of Enki took for themselves wives from among their sisters, half-sisters, and the daughters of the Anunnaki. From the ranks of the female healers and nurses, those who had come to care for the workers of the earth, did more Anunnaki children come forth, born upon the land that was not their own. And great was the marvel among them, for the cycles of time upon the earth were not as they were upon Nibiru, and the ways of birth and growth were not as before. They beheld that the womb quickened swifter upon the earth, and the bearing of children came forth in fewer days than in the heavens from whence they came. And they spoke among themselves, saying, "Truly this world moves in haste, and the children grow with great speed, for that which is slow in the heavens is swift upon the earth." Among earthlings it was seen that the children ran and played in their youth, while the children of Nibiru, still bound in their infancy, would yet be swaddled and cared for. Ninmah, the mother of healing, beheld these things and spoke, saying, "Behold, the earth is unlike the heavens. The measure of time here is not as we have known, and the children shall know a different fate." Enki spoke, saying, What takes an age upon Nibiru shall come to pass in a moment upon the earth. The days are shorter, and the life of flesh is spent more quickly upon this land. For one journey of Nibiru around the sun is as 3,600 years upon this world, and in that span many generations of earthlings shall rise and fall, and the ways of men shall be set upon their own course. And it came to pass that among the mighty Annunaki who dwelled upon the earth, Nannar, son of Enlil and Ninlil, was the first to be born upon the land of men. With his birth, the second generation of the Anunnaki upon the earth was established, and his seed would grow in strength and dominion. In time Nannar took to himself a spouse, Ningal, a lady of great wisdom, and from their union came forth a pair of twins, a daughter and a son, the first of the third generation upon the earth. The daughter was called Inanna, radiant and bold, and the son was called Utu, strong and filled with justice. Nannar, dwelling in the land, became the patron of Ur and Haran, and among the people he was revered as the moon god, for his symbol was the crescent moon shining upon the night sky. In the tongue of the Akkadians he was called Sin, and his name was uttered in prayers and offerings, for his light was seen as the guardian of the night. The city of Ur flourished beneath his hand, a place of power and wisdom where the priests of old lifted their voices to the heavens. And in the days that followed there arose a man among them, a high priest of Nannar, a servant of the great house of Ur, whose name was Terah. Terah begat Abraham, a man chosen for a destiny yet unknown, one whose name would be great among the children of the earth. And in a vision Enlil came unto Terah, speaking unto him in the quiet of the night, saying, Rise up. Depart from this land and take your household with you, for a new path has been set before you. Go forth from Ur, leave behind the city of your fathers, and journey unto Haran, a land that shall be for you and your generations after you. Chapter 2. 160,000 years ago. And it came to pass that in the days of the earth's renewal, the great ice that had long covered the lands began to retreat, and the seasons of change were upon the world. The sun cast forth its warmth, and the frozen lands, held captive for countless ages, began to loosen their grip. The snow melted, the glaciers receded, and the rivers swelled beyond their banks. The waters overflowed, filling the lakes to their brim, and the seas rose higher upon the shores, covering the lowlands in their path. In the fields and forests, the green of the earth was renewed, for the trees flourished, the grasses spread, and the vines bore fruit in abundance. The beasts of the land multiplied, filling the valleys and the hills, and the birds of the sky soared in great numbers, for the earth was teeming with life once more. Yet with the renewal of the land came also great upheavals, for the balance of the world was shaken, and the foundations of the earth groaned. The mountains trembled, and from their peaks fire and smoke burst forth, for the volcanoes of old awakened, sending ash and embers into the sky. The ground beneath the feet of men did quake, and mighty cities and settlements built by the hands of the Anunnaki were shaken, for the earth itself was in great travail. And in the farthest reaches of Antarctica, the land buried in ice began to stir, its foundations trembling as though the deep had been awakened. As the earth trembled and the skies raged, Enki, the lord of the Abzu, beheld the turmoil of the land and the waters, and his heart was troubled. And he said, This unrest is not of mere chance. Something unseen moves the forces of the world. Let us seek its cause, lest great calamity come upon us unawares. He summoned his son, Nergal, the watcher of the depths, and he commanded him, saying, Go forth to the southernmost edge of the Abzu, where the lands of fire and ice meet, and establish a great observatory. There shall you watch the movements of the earth, the shifting of its foundations, and the signs in the sky, and report to me all that transpires." Nergal, obedient to his father, went forth and built the great station of observation at the southern tip of the Abzu, a place where the heavens and the earth could be measured. As he studied the signs, he sent word to Enki, his father, saying, "My lord, a force unknown stirs the land and the sea. The ground quakes as though pushed by an unseen hand, and the waters rise as though drawn by a great power." Enki, upon hearing this, turned his gaze to the heavens, and he pondered, saying, "The earth is restless, but the cause is yet hidden. Perhaps the answer is written in the movements of the stars." In the land of Nibiru, the bond between heaven and earth, stood Enlil, the lord of the command, watching with unease, for he too saw the signs of impending change. He studied the celestial motions, using the great devices of calculation, the instruments tied to the tablets of destinies, so that he might discern what lay ahead. As he measured the paths of the heavenly bodies, he was troubled, and he called forth Enki, his brother, saying, "These signs foretell of great change. The balance of the earth is shifting, and the forces of the cosmos move in ways beyond our grasp. If we do not understand what is coming, we may be powerless to stop it. Let us not be blind to the fate that approaches." While they pondered the fate of the earth, word came from Marduk, son of Enki, who dwelled upon the way station of Lamu, Mars. And he cried out in distress, saying, "Father, hear me. The storms upon Lamu grow ever fiercer, the red dust swirls in endless fury, and the winds strip the land bare. The station is near unbearable, and the Igigi grow restless in their suffering." And it came to pass that the heavens were shaken, and the balance of the celestial spheres was disturbed, for a force unseen had loomed upon the paths of the stars. In the days of turmoil, the great firmament of the earth trembled, for the shield that wrapped it round was being pulled away as though by an unseen hand. From the heights of the heavens came meteors of fire, unleashed from the hammered bracelet, the asteroid belt, cast forth in fury, falling like brimstone upon the land. The earth was struck, and the mountains trembled, and the forests burned, and the seas boiled with wrath, for the stones of the heavens had been loosed upon it. The moon, the lesser light of the night, was struck and pounded, its surface scarred and broken, its face marred by the wrath of the wandering stones. Upon Lamu, Mars, great destruction befell, for the rocks of the heavens rained down without mercy, and the land was stripped bare. The air that wrapped Lamu in its embrace was torn asunder, cast out into the void, leaving only a wisp of breath, barely enough to whisper through the craters of desolation. And the Igigi, the watchers who dwelt upon Lamu, raised their voices in distress, for their dwelling place was ravaged, and their shelter no longer safe from the fury of the stars. Among the Annunaki there was great alarm, for they beheld the heavens and saw that this devastation was not by chance but by the hand of Nibiru, the great wanderer, in its return. For as Nibiru passed through the celestial realms, it came once more near the hammered bracelet, and by its mighty presence it disturbed the orbiting stones, setting them loose upon the paths of the planets. The earth, Lamu, and the moon, caught in the midst of this chaos, were battered by the unleashed stones, and their faces bore the scars of the celestial war. But then, among the raging stars, a terror arose, a celestial demon fashioned from the remnants of Tiamat, the ancient one who had been sundered in the battle of old. And this great and fearsome wanderer, a remnant of the past war of the heavens, moved upon its course, a sign of the doom yet to come. And it came to pass that a terror arose in the heavens, a flaming dragon of fire stretching across the sky, its head mighty and fierce, its body trailing long as the stars quaked in fear. Its head was as a league in measure, its body and tail stretching 50 leagues in length, a fearsome wanderer from the depths of the void. In its wake, the light of the sun was darkened, and the earth trembled beneath its shadow, for the day became twilight, and by night the moon lay cloaked in darkness. In the heavens the mighty ones of the celestial realms quivered, for Venus, the fair one, Earth, the blue jewel, and the moon, the guardian of the night, beheld the coming of the celestial beast, and knew not who would suffer its wrath. Upon the earth, the Annunaki lifted their eyes to the heavens, and fear filled their hearts, for the doom of the stars loomed overhead, seeking whom it would strike. The flaming dragon came forth with great fury, and the earth shook, and the seas roared, and all living things trembled before its might. But lo, a great warrior stepped forth. The moon, beloved of Tiamat, the steadfast guardian of the night, rose from its place and placed itself in the path of the celestial beast. With a mighty collision of the heavens, the moon took the strike, bearing the wrath of the monstrous intruder, shielding the earth from ruin. And great was the impact, and the moon was shaken to its very core, its surface scarred, and from its depths a storm of dust arose, veiling it in a cloak of darkness. From the icy heart of the celestial dragon, waters fell upon the moon, frozen in the void, yet carried upon the winds of the heavens, bringing forth ice and water in abundance. And the earth and Venus, seeing the battle complete, sighed in relief, and Venus settled once more into its appointed path, its course undisturbed. And as the battle in the heavens ceased, so too did the raining missiles of stone, and no longer did meteoric fire rain upon Mars and Earth, for the hand of destruction was stayed. But though the ground no longer quaked, and the skies no longer burned, still the volcanoes of the earth roared in defiance, spewing forth smoke and fire, and the air was thick with sulphur and ash. Enki and Enlil stood upon the high places looking upon the world, and they spoke, saying, "The heavens have raged, the earth has been struck, yet we remain. Though the fates have tested us, the world endures, and the children of the earth shall live on."